What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. We are at episode 11 of Married at First Sight, and this is my review. You are returning, welcome back. Like I said, if this is your first time here, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And don't forget to click the notification bell because I upload a video, or at least this video, every week. Before I get started, I just want to say I hope everybody out there is being safe when it comes to this coronavirus. Don't panic, just be safe. Do what you need to do and be safe. And while you're in the house, watch these videos. Like I said, this is Married at First Sight, season 10, episode 11, and I think it was called, let's see, I got some notes. Anniversaries and Secrets, and they are at day 30 of their marriage. So let's get started. This episode stressed me out. It was all over the place. So I want to start actually with Brandon and Taylor, because I feel like this should be, I don't know if it will be, but it should be our last conversation about them. So like I said, it was day 30 of the marriages, and each couple got a nice little basket from the experts. Pictures of their wedding. I think it was the wedding video. What else? Some framed stuff, maybe like their vows were framed. Of course, because Taylor and Brandon aren't living together, she got her basket at the apartment. He got his basket at his apartment. They look at it. I guess it's supposed to rehash some of those feelings that they had in that moment. Some of the things that they kind of felt about each other early on. It didn't with either one of them. Like, Taylor now has become this person. And I remember when they had their housewarming with the families over, and she said to her friends, you know, I used to be a different person. I used to be that person where I would go off, but I've changed. And I think she's gone back to that person. She is not a nice person right now, and I'm not liking the way that she's coming off on camera. The experts said that they wanted this to be a time for them to reflect and heal and possibly move into a better space for the two of them. There's no better space for them. Like, the space that they're in, which is separately and apart, is the best space for them. This relationship has no roots. It does not need to be replanted and tried to grow. It is dead. It's like a dry rotted tree. It's dead. Pastor Cal feels like they're sabotaging the relationship. And I guess it's his pastor part, the pastor part of him. He really wants them to give it a shot, you know, try to work it out. But I think, and I get it, like for the experts, they put a lot of time and used all these algorithms and formulas and into this to try to make these matches. And to see it fail is probably, you know, disheartening to them. But yeah, they gotta stop trying to put energy into Taylor and Brandon, because it's just going nowhere. So after they looked at their wedding baskets, Taylor reached out to him and invited him to meet her at the nail salon. He was very apprehensive about it, but he went. And their conversation was like cold as ice. You know, it was awkward. They didn't know. It was like they didn't know what to say to each other. She hands him a card, and inside it has a written apology, and he doesn't really take it well. So he says, you know, I can't move on until I get an apology from her. Maybe apologizing. This is how she apologizes. Maybe she can't put it into verbals, but she can write it. So she wrote it inside of a card. He wasn't buying it. But I think he's checked out. I think he's completely done. He can't get past the video. He said she's making mistakes after mistake after mistake, and she's not admitting to any of it. And unless there's something else that he's talking about, I think the video is the only thing that he feels like she did to him. Now, granted, he feels like it's the worst thing. It was a horrible thing. But I think that was the only thing. And okay, so him not getting an apology. But yeah, they're both immature. They're both in their own heads. She has shut down. He can't get past it. But he also can't get over doing things on camera, which, when you sign up for a reality show, I think that's like the number one thing at the top of the list, is that there will be cameras around. He said something like, well, yeah, we can do this here on camera, something like that. Anyway, they realized that the conversation wasn't going anywhere. She asked him, did he want to even be friends, and he said no. And then in the sidebar, he said, I didn't sign up for a friend. I signed up for my forever person. But Brandon, just so you know, you should be friends with the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So that being a starting point is not a bad place to be. But at this point, he has completely shut down. They're over. They're done. I feel like we should not see them anymore. So yeah, that's it for Taylor and Brandon. Next up is Meka and Michael. So we start off with him making her breakfast. And she's already told him before she doesn't like breakfast. But she sits at the table looking like she doesn't like breakfast. Like she doesn't want to be there. Like she doesn't want to be up. And he's giving her the whole, so what do you want? I'll take your order. We got the mimosas and we have eggs and sausage. So he's trying to be a little cutesy. I thought that was pretty kind of cute, especially if he came up with it on his own. For all we know, it could have been an idea that was in a box or something. But either way, it was cute. She ate the breakfast and he's trying to have conversation with her, casual, fun conversation. What kind of grits person are you? Are you salt and pepper grits? Or are you sugar and butter grits? And she's like, yeah, I don't like grits. She has her guard up so far because she doesn't know what's coming out of his mouth. Like, are you telling me the truth? Are you not telling me the truth? So in that whole breakfast moment, I do feel like, and he said he's trying to honor the commitment. I think he's trying. So they go on an outing for their 30-day or their 1-month anniversary, and they take a limo to the pier and go out on a boat, and they exchange gifts. And her gift to him was some ties. Were they like expensive ties, fancy ties or something? He thought those were nice. Oh, well, no, wait, I'll back up. They looked at their wedding pictures and stuff, and they looked at the gift from the experts, their framed vows and their wedding video. And I felt like, as much as he says he's trying, I felt like that moment was the moment for them to maybe get a little closer. Like they were sitting next to each other while they were watching the video, but she was sitting next to him and he kind of had the laptop and he was not, like, I think he could have taken that opportunity to maybe put his arm around her. I'm not saying kissing her because I really don't think that they're there, but he could have put his arm around her. They could have leaned in a little closer together. I just feel like there's still just coldness between the two of them. So like I said, they exchanged gifts. She gave him some nice ties, and he starts going on about the gift that he gave her. And I didn't want to give candy again because I've given you candy a lot of times, and when I think about and I'm like, what is he saying? And that's the look on her face, like what lie is he about to tell me now? He says he's gotten 2 tickets to Ocho Rios, Jamaica, and paid for an excursion for them to go swimming with the dolphins. And she does not get excited. I didn't get excited because I don't believe it. And I will not believe it until I see it. It took him too long. Why couldn't he just say, we didn't have a great honeymoon, so I thought we could go on a trip together. So my gift to you is a trip to Jamaica. That was quick. That was easy. That was painless. He went all the way down the street and came back and up the steps and down the basement and back again before he spit it out. And she said in the sidebar, it was a great gesture. I hope I can believe it, but we'll see it. We'll see. She did when she got out of the limo and they were looking at the pictures. She actually smiled. Like she can smile and be soft and be approachable. Did I say he said he wants to create memories? So that's why he purchased the trip, because he thinks, couples should travel together and create memories. And I don't remember where they ended because there was so much other drama going on in the episode. But I think if they both let down their walls a little bit, like she just needs to soften up a little bit and just come into it. She thinks she's coming into it with an open mind, but she really has to open up a little more. And if he kind of just tells the truth, I think they could possibly move in a comfortable direction, but it just still seems so stiff. And I just find it hard to believe that they sleep in the same bed. I don't know. But we'll see if they ever make it to Jamaica. Jessica and Austin. So Jessica and Austin are on the verge of being in love. And they both kind of, Jessica actually said, she feels like she loves him. She just doesn't want to be the first one to say. And Austin is alluding to it in his conversations. Like he's beating around, dancing around it, the L word. He said things like he's excited to see her, and he feels like they're growing in love, but he's just afraid of the L word. And when you say to somebody that you're excited to see somebody, or I wrote down that they have the butterflies. That was something that I got from Love is Blind. When you have the butterflies, or when they walk in the room and you get that feeling, like that's getting close to love, if not already in love. Like they are right there. She just doesn't want to be the first one to say it. So when she got home from work, he had flowers for her and some wine and this little plaster kit in the bucket. And they thought it was a good idea to have something, create memories in their space together. So they did a cast of them holding hands, which turned out so cute. Did they get their basket then, or was it after they went to dinner? I think it was then. They got their basket, they got their their wedding video and pictures, and they, went through that moment all over again. And Jessica actually said, she was really happy, and she would say yes to him all over again. No questions asked. They seem almost too good to be true. And I felt like that about Bobby and Danielle in season 7, I think, where they just didn't have any issues. They didn't argue. They didn't, everything was just smooth sailing. And they're still together. They have a baby. So more power to them. They both say that they see a future with the other, which is great. I think it's great. And like I said, they are both on the verge of saying, I love you. Jessica even said, I wish Austin would have just capped off the night with saying, I love you. But they're still good. They are still good. So that's Jessica and Austin. Katie and Derek. What happened, y'all? What happened? Did we miss it? Did I miss an episode? Because I feel like something happened between last week and this week that just pushed them off the rails. So we start off with Katie talking about, she texted Derek and said she was thinking about keeping her townhouse because that's her safe haven, or that's her safe place. And he didn't like it. And they get into this argument over text. First of all, she texted him while he was at work. Who does that? Like, this is a conversation, a face-to-face conversation. You don't text him while he's at work and say, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to keep my townhouse just in case. Well, what? I'm sure that just threw his whole day off. She said some nasty things to him. He said some nasty things to her. And they have an argument. They're in an argument. So they're unhappy. They get to dinner. She still has an attitude. Now, Katie is the epitome of self-sabotage. She is self-sabotage at its best. Like, she still has that the X in her mind. Like, her mind is, if this guy doesn't love me, and I think with her, though, her thing is, and she said it, she may have given it up too soon on the honeymoon. And I think in her mind is, why doesn't he love me? I done gave him all of me. He should love me by now. Girl, please. But what he is saying is, I see great potential in falling in love with you. And if you just let it flow, then we could probably get there. But you want me to give you the exact date and time and moment that I'm going to fall in love with you. And I can't do that. So in her text exchange to him, she said that she's checked out. She's checking out. I mean, they're 30 days in. And she's checking out already because he doesn't love her yet. Like, what kind of guys have she's been dealing with? Either the ones who are really gullible and just fall for her, or the ones that have been lying to her. Either way, she's not with any of them at this point. So they must not be any good. So they get to dinner, and she says she's still mad, and she brings up this conversation. And I feel like the way she talks to him is like, she's really like demeaning, and she talks down to him and like, you better. And like, no, I'm not your child. You don't talk down to me like that. Let's have a conversation about this. He apologized for, she was trying to say that she didn't say she was checked out until he cursed at her. He was so ready to go in his pocket and pull out those receipts on her cell phone. But he took the high road and said, listen, that was earlier. I'm trying to move past this so we can have a great evening. Let's just let it go. They go back and forth. And she's just like, I didn't appreciate it. And that's why I said I checked out. And you can't curse at me like that. Don't curse at me like that. And like, she just, ever since that meeting that she had with her mother, she has gotten this real stink attitude. And it is not becoming of her at all. But they hash it out. They get through dinner. And then he has some surprises. Oh, no, he did. He gave her, his anniversary gift to her was to go see her favorite, must be her favorite country artist in Nashville for the weekend. And she was just taken aback by that. And like, those types of things should show her that, yeah, he does really, really care for her. And I don't love you in 30 days. I don't care how much sex y'all had on the honeymoon. That don't mean that I love you. So get over yourself, Katie. After dinner, they get back home. They look at their wedding photos. He has everything set up with rose petals and nice little tray of candles and chocolate covered strawberries and other fruits. And they look at their wedding photos and videos. And then they end up in the bathtub together. Well, they ended up better than they started in this 2 hours. Did y'all think this was a long 2 hours? I swear it was a long 2 hours. And she says she feels more optimistic. If you guys hear music in the background, I think my daughter has music playing in the shower. Anyway, she says she feels more optimistic about the possibility of falling in love. But he keeps catching her off guard, like with the candles and then the trip to Nashville. She wants to be done. She wants to be out of this. She wants to be done with him so bad. And he keeps throwing things at her. So she can't just cause a fight with him and then storm off to her townhouse. I think he's doing all that he can to prove to her that he's in this for the long haul. Like he said, I want to fall in love with you. So yeah, I hope that they end up in love, loving each other in the end. I really do. I hope she does not hurt him. Like, I feel like she's going to. Lord, Zach and Mindy. This thing just went from bad to worse to the worstest, if that's even a word. It's not. I know it's not, but I just wanted to say it. Zach and Mindy. So they start off with Zach coming to the ice skating rink with Mindy, and she says she wants to get him into her space. Like, this is her comfort zone. This is where she feels the most powerful. So she wants him to come to her space. And he goes, and she teaches him how to skate. So when he gets there, though, he says, as he's putting, must have been in the sidebar, he says, these are the types of things that we need to do to create attraction. These are the types of things that we need to do to create attraction. Shut up. Like, Zach needs to get over himself. That's just the bottom line. So let me keep going because y'all know this got deep. So they go to the anniversary dinner, and he starts talking about how she's being a hypocrite, saying that she's fully committed and she's all in, and she's being nothing but honest, and she's all into this process. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he goes on and on and on about, you remember, something that, have you been completely honest, completely truthful? Think about before the wedding. Like, Zach, what the hell? What are you talking about? She was so lost. I felt so bad for Mindy in that moment, because that was a classic case of mind fucking her. He was jabbing at her and not giving her anything back. Like, he was like, you know. and giving her the little smile that he does. Like, I'm so over Zach, and I need him to be over Zach. She mentioned moving in, and he said something to the effect of, if he moves in, then he wouldn't feel in control, or that's where he loses something to that effect. Like, I don't even know, like, my ear, I can't even hear what he's saying anymore. But that was that was an opportunity for him to be in control the conversation, control her, with that whole mind trickery that he was doing. That whole, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it on camera. And she's like, well, will you come over later and we can talk about it off camera? And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to say it. Like, get over yourself. Zach, you are not all that you think you are. So they leave dinner, or she leaves dinner because he done pissed her off, and I don't blame her. She walks out on him, and he's sitting there with a smirk on his face because he's like, yeah, okay, I'm one up on her. Like, he's trying to wear her. I feel like he's trying to wear her down. He already doesn't live at the apartment, so there's no chance of intimacy or physically getting closer. So now I gotta play with her mind, play mind games with her, and then maybe she will not like me so much, because I know she likes me so much. She gotta like me. Who doesn't like all of this? So, right? Like I said, she mentioned spending the night. He shut down. She got pissed off. She left. When she got back to the apartment, their basket with the pictures and the video from the wedding was there. So she calls him and asks him if he wants to come over and look at it. And he says, yeah, I'll come over. Like, he treats them like they are buddies, college buddies, roommates, co-workers, something. So he gets there, and she's clearly bothered. He's looking at the pictures, and he's looking at him. He's not looking at the pictures. He's looking at how he looks in the pictures, kind of like Liz did last season. But he's just way more egotistical than she is. And Mindy is bothered. Like, she's like, I can't sit here and act like this is all cupcakes and roses, and I'm pissed off. So she brings it up, and she's like, I need you to tell me what you're talking about. Like, stop playing these games with me, stop pulling me, stop shitting around, and tell me what you're talking about. And he goes into some, I don't know if he meant to bring up the fact that he's been talking to her friend Lindsay, or if he just kind of stumbled into it and couldn't get out of it, put his foot in his mouth and he couldn't get it out. But he got there, and he started talking about her friend Lindsay, who he had been talking to on IG and then through text since the wedding. Since the wedding, for a month, you two have been talking, and you didn't think you needed to tell me? So he says that he reached out to her for advice with Mindy. He's talked to her about, her and Mindy's relationship, and she gave some good insight. And no, that's not who you talk. And I'm so glad that she's smarter than he thinks she is, because she was calling bullshit on everything he said. Well, yeah, no. Didn't you think you should have talked to me about that? Didn't you think you should have let me know that you were having a conversation with my good friend, who, Mindy, I question whether or not she's your good friend. She's not your good friend. Because a good girlfriend wouldn't have done that. The first time he reached out to her, she would have called you immediately. I bet you your girlfriend Mallory would have called you. He's squirming, like he is squirming in his seat. But she let him think that he was off the hook, and he left. And she went and called her girlfriend. She went and called Lindsay. This bitch ended up crying on the phone. Lindsay. Like, how do you say the answers that Lindsay had, and Mindy was like, I really need you. We've been friends a long time, and I want you to be truthful with me, and I need you to tell me the truth. Like, have you been talking to Zach? And yeah, he reached out to me. Like, she's answering these questions like this is just all good. Like, it's good. Why do you think it's okay that my husband is calling you and asking you for advice about me, and you're not even telling me? Because you've known him 2 days less than I had. Like, it was just all bad. It just all went down. So, I mean, they talk about how it kind of started and what he's been asking her, how often they talk. She said Well, Zach told me that the last time he texted you was a couple days ago. Is that true? And she said, no, he texted me this morning. Bitch, that's not okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. I'm so proud of Mindy for being level-headed. Probably was for the cameras, but let me tell you something. Had that been Meka, it would have been a major blow up. Because this is supposed to be your girlfriend, your friend girl, your friend girl. Like, she's the one. Mindy should have been calling her, and neither one. And she didn't think that the first time she got a message from Zach that she should have reached out to Mindy. And she said the message that he sent her that morning was, "Hey, how you doing? How's your day going?" So Mindy says, "Well, do you have these messages? Can you send me screenshots?" "Oh no, I delete. I don't know how to." She says, "I'm really immature in these type of situations, so I just delete stuff from my phone." Oh. So you think I'm as dumb as he thinks I am. Okay. So then you two really belong. Sounds like the type that just agrees with everything he says, smiles and nods, and just gazes into his eyes because he's so beautiful. I mean, when she finished talking to Lindsay, her statement was, "Somebody's lying to me. They're both lying to you, sweetie. They're both lying to you. Your husband doesn't want to be your husband." Oh, that's what she did. She asked him, oh, now it's kind of coming together. She asked him, "Do you have a girlfriend? Are you gay?" He said, "No, I'm not gay. But do you have a girlfriend?" Because technically, he is cheating on her with Lindsay. He's emotionally gone. That's why sometimes I have to watch the episode and then watch it again before I do my reviews. But because I'm trying to get these reviews done on Wednesday night, it's hard for me to watch it twice. But yeah, I just connected those dots in my head. Zach and Lindsay are both liars who lie. So that's it. That's all I got for this week. Let me know what you guys think out in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the notification bell. And I will see you same time, same place next week. Thanks for watching. And bye-bye. Stay safe. Wash your hands and use sanitizer. Bye.